Newcastle United are chasing Johan Wissa. Will they get there, man? Let's find out right here on Toon Tactics TV, folks.
Oh, brilliant from Share. And now Murphy can take on the shot. Fabian Share
Well, good evening, folks. It's always a pleasure to see the chat powered up already and folks already engaging and always encouraging to see you guys, especially in this late hour. And as I always say, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me listening to all things Toon Tactics TV. Guys, do let me know where you guys are listening from, what country, city, or town, whether you're on your way to work, you've come back to work, whether you're cleaning the house, whether you're just lying down, whether you're doing several things at the same time, do let us know. And as always, folks, please do like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Look at that! I remembered it from the first part of the stream. I'm becoming a professional YouTuber, guys. But as always, there's plenty of news on all things Newcastle United. Tonight's show, we're going to talk about Wissa, see what stage the deal is at. And we're also going to talk about kind of our transfer strategy in general. We kind of did it in the previous show, but I want to get a little bit more specific about it, find out what's good about it, find out what's not so good about it, like see where we're heading. I want to know where you guys think we're heading as well. Like I want to know, do you think we're going to get all our signings? Do you think we'll do well? Because for me, transfer window, have we bought well? Have we sold well? And have we kept our players? So have we bought well? Have we sold well? And have we kept our players? That's what's going to define a great transfer window for us. So where do you guys think? Are we going to keep our players? Jeez, that's a big old saga at the moment. I think we will, by the way. Are we going to buy well? I think we're heading towards that direction. And are we going to sell well? And I think we're doing okay in that direction so far. So I want to know what you guys are thinking. So we're going to talk about that. There was a third thing. Oh, and I'm going to show our new technical director. I'm going to call him Suds for short because it says in his bio he doesn't mind being called Suds, and I think that's his nickname. But I've watched his. I don't know if you guys saw him, or you know who I'm referring to. He's been announced. He's going to be reporting directly to our sporting director, and so I've got videos of his presentations and stuff like that. I really like him. I really like him, and I will hopefully we've got some time to talk about him as well. But before we get on to Wissa, we've got already a few folks in the chat. I want to make sure I say hello to BT. Good to see you, and God bless you. Oh, good evening, all. Good evening to you, sir. I hope you are well. Alexander Isak is the third highest. Sorry, I didn't even put that on. Alexander Isak is the third highest Premier League striker in 2024, only because of Newcastle revenue, or highest paid Premier League striker in 2024, only because of Newcastle revenue. Even if Newcastle doubled Isak weekly salary, it would still be less than Gabriel Jesus. So okay, and then I think you add something to that. BT with an annual revenue of only 320 against last year revenue of 613. The club cannot afford to double Isak salary. So you're referring to the Isak salary. Okay. Um, so what do you think is going to happen? I think we can obviously increase his salary. I think probably to 250. Um, Otherwise, we'll see how it goes. I think if, from my opinion, folks, and to everybody, I don't believe this new article that says Isak is demanding 300k. That's my primary thing. But if it is true that Isak is demanding 300k, he already. So I think if that is the case, which I don't think it is, but if it is the case, I think he's purposely pricing himself out of staying. If that is the case, because he knows our club captain, our highest paid players like Bruno Gomes are getting paid 160. It's really unlikely that we're going to double his salary, Isak's, and then also do the same for everybody else because that's what we'd have to do. So I think if that story is true, I think he's pricing himself out of staying. So that's why I don't think it's true. I don't think that's what he would do, in my personal opinion. Um, Evening, Sir Robinson. Good to see you. God bless you. Evening, Philip. Evening to you. Wobo Joe. God bless you. Good to see you. Must be happy. Building commercial capacity takes time unless you are Chelsea 2004 City. Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. We're starting from the foundation. But Wobo Joe, how you feel about Eucharist? I feel like I know. I can't remember if you're like me and you prefer Sesko. Correct me if I'm wrong, Wobo Joe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you do. But Mr. Fairview, Mr. Bobby Fairview, good to see you. God bless you. Big up Philip and the chat. Glad to be here with you. Great to see you, Mr. Bobby Fairview. I don't know who you guys are signing somebody. Xavi Simmons, that's the latest one. How you feel about him, Bobby? um Aaron Kane, good to see you. God bless you. Evening all, evening to you, sir. A couple more. Bobby Fairview. I think Isak's request is reasonable. Newcastle is a big club fighting with the big boys. Don't let them get off that easy by blaming PSR. So in the previous show, so for instance, I'll do a comparison, and I think I want to say BT researched this. If this wasn't you, BT, forgive me. If someone researched it, what Salah was earning in his third year at Liverpool, and Salah was earning 90k in his third year at Liverpool, which is what Isak's third year will be. Isak's already on 1,100, 120. So Newcastle aren't being unreasonable in our current wages. That's not to acknowledge that yes, Mr. Isak is one of the best strikers in the world, but our structure at the moment and where we're at isn't enough to deal with that 300k. In my personal opinion, it would have to, and everybody else would also have to increase. Or even if we could deal with it, it would mean that we won't be able to buy the players that we want to buy. But happy to debate that at some point with you, Bobby Fairview. A couple more questions and we'll get into Wissa. Adrian Pickett, there must be some way to funnel barrels of oil into Isak's portfolio. Do you know what, guys? I was thinking about this Al Hilal story. And I talked about it yesterday on the NUFC Talk TV yesterday. God bless those guys. Incredible show. And if there's any truth to the story, I don't know if there is, and I'll be surprised if Newcastle were to pull this off. The only way Newcastle can pull off this kind of wage situation is if we were to sell, if Isak and his agent and the club were to agree that Isak is sold to Al Hilal for 150 and above, he gets the wager he wants, probably even treble, quadruple what he wanted, and he's loaned back to us for this season. And I think that would kick up a storm. I think I've talked to a few people about it, but what do you guys think about that? What would you do if Newcastle sold Isak to Al Hilal for 150 and above? They raised his wages to 300k, 400k, whatever it is, 500k, and they loaned him back to us. What would you guys think about that? I haven't quite made up my mind about it. A part of me does think everybody else, this is it's legal. Everybody else is doing it. The other part of me is thinking about like this, uh, 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 the the core of public opinion, and so for some people maybe they won't care, but that might be a question to ask anyway. All right, so one or two more comments, and then we'll get on to Mr. Wissa. Warburjog, I'm looking forward to that Bane celebration at OT and the bridge. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. Arsenal fans are buzzing. It's good to see, man. But be fair view on your question about Xavi Simons, it's not clear to me that Maresca can use him any better than he did in Nkunku. And the problem is Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, it's difficult for me to see where he'll place him. Apparently, Nkunku's been Cy Phillips, who I think you let me know, Bobby Fairview, but Cy Phillips. Sorry guys, I keep looking down because I got bit by a fly. It's bugging me. But Cy Phillips I think he's a credible journalist. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Bobby Fairview. He keeps on linking Mr. Nkunku to us. Is Nkunku any good? And do you think he'll fit into our Newcastle squad? Let me know, Mr. Fairview, if you're what your thoughts are on it are. I just don't see where Xavi Simmons fits either. Mr. Warbojog, I haven't lost hope yet for him. I hope we can go back for him next summer. Arteta's like clingy ex that can't move on. Who's that about? Have I missed? What did I ask? Did I say something? Sesko. It was about yeah. So you're a Sesko fan like me, essentially. Yeah. I hope we can go back from next summer. Arteta's like a clingy ex that can't. Yeah, it might work for you that way. All right, so let's see. Mr. Wissa. Okay, so let's get the news from the Athletic. Let's get our strongest source possible. Obviously, Ben Jacobs has reported on it. I want to say Ornstein's reported on it. So it's all in the big. It's all in the big news. What's happened? Let me get a drink of water for this because this is going to be interesting. All right. So the report says, and I think Ornstein wrote this himself. Brentford turned down 25 million from Johan Wissa offer. Turned down 25 million Johan Wissa offer from Newcastle. Now already I see people kicking off about the offer from Newcastle online, and I always caveat this about online and real life. I know that the people talking online and real life, but I feel like online isn't real life. With all due respect, and the thing is, I'm the guy that's online as well. So this might be a self-criticism. This is a double-edged sword. And it's about people getting vexed, getting angry, getting their heart palpitating by the low ball offer that Newcastle are giving. It's not just Newcastle. Low ball offer is what everybody does. Like it's a standard thing to do. The seller wants to give the highest price possible. I think at one point Brentford were quoted as 50 million for Johan Wissa. We're not paying that for a 29-year-old. And then obviously Newcastle saying 25 million. Eventually they're going to have to meet somewhere in the middle. So I just don't understand it, to be honest with you. I think part of it, actually, I do understand it. Part of it is the panic that if Newcastle take ages in their bids, they give low ball bids, this time it will be Tottenham or it will be Man United or whoever is interested in a striker that's going to turn his head and he's going to come and join them instead. And I understand it from that point of view. But I say this. If we bid what Brentford want, which is 50 million, I'll be kicking off saying, mate, what are we doing paying 50 million for a 21-year-old striker? Like, there are better options for 50 million than a 29-year-old striker, in my opinion. So, and we just don't have that kind of capacity to be wasting it on people as well. So, and if we do that, it sends a clear message to all other clubs who are looking to sell us defenders or centre midfielders and goalkeepers. Newcastle United are desperate. If they're paying 50 million for a 29-year-old striker from Brentford, we can whack an extra 10, 20 million on our players as well. So Newcastle, in my opinion, are doing the right thing. But let me know what you guys think about that. So Ornstein goes on to say, and this is today from 4:51 p.m. Brentford have turned down an offer from Newcastle United to sign Johan Wissa. A proposal worth 25 million was not back, but the North East club's pursuit is ongoing. While personal terms would be no problem, which says to me that they've already agreed personal terms. Wissa has returned from Brentford's pre-season training camp in Portugal to hold face-to-face talks over his future with the Brentford hierarchy. Now, the way Ornstein's kind of phrased that is like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but he's phrased when he says return, it kind of gives the perception or the impression that he finished the training camp and they all returned together. But what other journalists are saying, and I think it was Sammy Mukbul who said that he's left the training camp. Whilst they're in training, he's left the training camp to go talk to Phil Giles, their DOF. So I think maybe Ornstein's being a bit polite here, which is interesting. So it's clear, it's certainly coming across to me that from the player side, Wissa is pushing for a move. whether Ornstein's pointing towards Newcastle, Sammy Mokbo sort of as well, but there are other interested parties. Okay, so the Athletic reported on July the 17th that Newcastle were exploring a deal to sign the 28-year-old after cooling their interest in Eintracht Frankfurt. He chose Liverpool. Hugo Ekitike, who is poised to join Liverpool. Nottingham Forest have also previously shown interest in signing Wissa. The Athletic reported on July the 10th that Forest had seen a fresh bid for Wissa turned down by Brentford after the approach for the forward in January, which was also rejected. And this is the key part. Brentford have valued Wissa at more than £50 million. He's not £50 million, guys. Like, I hope we can all agree. A 29-year-old Johan Wissa, with 2 years, even with 2 years in his contract, is not £50 million. He's not £50 million, guys. Which was only increased after Brian Mbeumo joined in Manchester United. And that's why Mr. Wissa is going grabbed an airplane, stopped training to run back to run back home and get on a face-to-face talks with Mr. Giles and say to him, I'm not 50. He's going to tell him, I'm not £50 million. You know I'm not £50 million. Wissa joined Brentford from Lorient in August 2021 and has a 1 year left on his contract, with Brentford holding an option to extend the deal by 12 months, so 2 years. He scored 19 Premier Leagues, had an outstanding year. We're going to talk about that last season, and any exit now would only add to a huge summer of change at Brentford. Thomas Frank, who brought Wissa to England, has since moved away from Brentford. Yeah, so literally Christian Norgard, Thomas Frank, they've all left, and they've got their set piece coach to take over, which is unusual to say the least. So, guys, what do you think about Mr. Wissa? What is happening with him? We're going to go a little bit through his stats. I did a little bit of stat comparison with Mr. Isak, and I want to know if they can work together. Something tells me they can. As well as obviously rotating, which is what Newcastle have always planned to do. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are. I'd be really interested to see. But be fair, but I'm all for that sale and lease back of Isak for us. I didn't have to. I didn't even ask. That question wasn't even to you, Bobby. I already know. Chelsea just did it with Sarr. Yeah, exactly. The scale of our operation is going to be massive. For Isak. If we do that, goodness gracious. Philip, I would take 150 million for it. Oh, David Eddie, good to see you, by the way. God bless you. Philip, I would take 150 million for Isak. If it was to the Saudis, so be it. Better than Liverpool or Arsenal. But yeah, if the worst came to the worst, I would accept that. I find it so hard to believe, Davey, that Isak would go to Saudi at this stage of his career when he can play Champions League. He doesn't, again, when I say he doesn't kind of, people say, oh, he doesn't look like that type of person. I've never talked to him. I don't know what his personal dreams and ambitions are. But I just don't, he doesn't strike me as a guy. And again, watching video, I'll be really surprised. I'll be really surprised that that's the case. If it were to do that, in my opinion, honestly. But yeah, if that was a situation, if that was a scenario, and Davey, I'll do it. But be fair with you, I think Nkunku would be a fantastic for Newcastle. Okay. He would bring a different threat in that role, currently played by Joe Linton. So you're looking at the left eight, isn't it? He's a very good player that has been misused by us. Do you know what? You've encouraged me, Bobby, to, because I was deliberating doing a scout report on him. I might just do that on the back of your recommendation, to be honest, because I've seen him a couple of times, especially in the 2 games that he played against Brighton. I don't know if you remember last season when I think you lost both games 2-0 in that week to Brighton, and I was not impressed with Nkunku. But again, it has been a bit of a dysfunctional team, not dysfunctional team, but season for Nkunku. Daviedi Wissa is a good kid. I'll be fine with him. Another tug of war would come regarding Spurs and his ex-boss Thomas Frank. Yeah. I'm already worried about. I'm not even worried about myself. I'm already worried about people. if we were to lose to Tottenham in that tug of war. Um, if we were to lose that battle, we will see. We will see. Adrian Pickett, what's the price being touted for Nkunku? Great question. Bobby, do let us know if you have any idea what the price is. I would love to know. I would love to know. Dave Yeddy, 30 million for Wissa seems about right. I agree. Package, total package. As you say, Philip, he's approaching 29. Yeah, absolutely. We can't, 30 million is the max. Yeah, I understand the market is inflated, but yeah, no. If we're doing this 50 million business, we should have just put the extra 10 million for João Pedro and give him the wages that he wants. I'm like, honestly. Um, David, yes, agreed, Philip. It's a strange situation, isn't it? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So let me look at the old stats for Mister. I nearly said Mister Wobojog. It's not Wobojog. I've got Wobojog on my mind. I got the comparison ones up. All right, so let me back up a little bit. Where did I have it? Right. So Mr. Wissa, let me make sure you guys can see that. Oh no, you haven't. Good thing I checked. Good thing I checked. All right. So Mr. Wissa of Congolese descent, but also from France. He's from France. Is he current? Okay, so he's currently 22, but he's soon to be 29. Excuse me, in September. He's right-footed, can play forward or midfield forward. Stands at 180 centimeters, about 5'10", 5'11". Again, very interestingly, his weekly wage is 25K. I think just doubling that, and he will be very, very happy. Again, and we'll be very, very happy. I think it'll be less than Callum Wilson's wage, to be honest. So I can see why we're chasing him, to be honest. Um, and again, it will fit with our PSR. Now, statistically, he's been matched towards Nicholas Jackson, Danny Welbeck, Darwin Nunes, who comes up every now and again for us in terms of links. I can't see. I'll be really interested if that was real on Darwin Nunes, links to Darwin Nunes. As a player, I'm not so down on Darwin the way people online are. As a player, I think if you ask Eddie Howe, in my opinion, he would really like Darwin Nunes, and he'll believe that he can help him in terms of his finishing. But there's a lot to like about him. Anyway, Wissa. Now, some really nice green bars from Mr. Wissa. Actually, let me put the full. Uh, what do you call it? Oh, it is up. Yeah, it is up. Okay, so all right. So non-penalty goals. As this is obviously looking at last year's. So he's played nearly 3,000 minutes last year. Non is 85 percentile and 88 percentile for non-penalty xG. So essentially indicates that he so non-penalty goals expected as well. So non-penalty goals are 85 percentile and is 88 percentile for non-penalty goals expected. So he is he's according to them that he's only slightly he's no he's only so he's only slightly over he's under per 90. I can't get it 0.557 88 percentile for non-xg expected. Is he underperforming? I think it's difficult because he's an 88 percentile. Oh, it's 88 percentile, 0.57 non-xg. So he's only slightly overperforming on his non-penalty xg by 0.2. So it's not bad. So he's within range. So he scored 19 goals. So to them, he's like between like a 17 to 19, 16 to 7 to 19 goal striker, which isn't bad. Shots on goal, 70 percentile, non-xG plus assistant xG 79, so goal creating action, goals and assists, excuse me. Pass completion isn't bad, 86% are 83% off progressive carries, which is important. Eddie Howe really wants those guys that can carry the ball. He's pretty quick with his feet, swift with his feet. Blocks, you see him in the 89 percentile. We know how Brentford like to play in terms of counter-attacking football, getting men behind the ball when to defend. And he's got a really, really high work rate as well, which is what Eddie Howe would really, really love. Again, as we said, goals is 78 percentile, goals and assists 76 percentile, which is good. 88 percentile, as we mentioned, for non-penalty goals, 83 percentile for progressive carries. So again, being able to carry the ball, carry it into new phases. All of the guys that we've got up front, in Isak, Gordon, Elanga, all those guys can carry the ball, which is important for us. Shots on target, 79%, 79% which isn't bad. Nearly in the top 80. Shots on target, 83 percentile, so which is good. So he's good at getting his shots on target. 84 for goals and shots. So I think he nearly produces in terms of volume shots, nearly three shots per game, which is not bad at all, which is pretty impressive considering that you're playing for a really counter-attacking side. Well, no, they've increased their possession a little bit. They've improved on that, to be honest, this season. So maybe he's just seen the benefits of that. Non-XG, so non-penalty expected goals per shot, 92 percentile. So maybe again he's missing a little bit more shots than he should, but that can be something that he can improve upon. Passing, 86 percentile. Pass completion, 94 percentile. So he's good at kind of dropping in and linking up. We know about his partnership with Mbeumo, for instance, as well. I think I've done a little scout report on that previously. Passes from free kicks, 89 percentile. So I don't know if he passes from free kicks. So he must be taking their free kicks at times as well. So he's got technical ability. Corner kicks, 86 percentile. 90 percentile for shot creating actions. So shots that led to another shot attempt. So that's pretty good as well. Fouls drawn that lead to a shot attempt, 89 percentile. So he's very, very active in the penalty box. We'll talk about that. Dribblers tackled. So you can see his defensive work rate, 84 percentile. Really well. The dribblers challenged, 78 percentile. So he's actually outperforming. So he's very, very good at tackling other dribblers. Blocks, 89 percentile. Shots blocked, 97 percentile. The guys are good at defending. Touches in the defensive third. So he's really good at taking on the ball, receiving the ball in the opposition's half. Brentford really rely on him to do that. Maybe holding off the ball, laying it off to Mbeumo, and I think vice versa. They've been excellent with that. And I think Eddie Howe's been looking for those guys, those target men that can also carry the ball, which Wissa can do. Carrying distance, 84 percentile. So some really good numbers here for him. Really impressive. His aerial duels, though, 92 percentile. So that's not very good. Aerials lost, 90 percentile, not good. So he wins about 45.5% of his aerial duels, which isn't the most impressive. Which is not the most impressive. I've got Isak up here, but I need to look at Wissa. One thing I wanted to look at as well. So let me know what you guys think about his stats so far. For me, it kind of shows again what he is: quick, fast, progressive with the ball. Defensive work rate is really, really good. Can receive the ball in the opposition's half and create danger. Also, which is important, very important for what we're trying to do. I also wanted to show his heat map, which is very, very good to look at. Just to zoom in on that, let me make sure you guys can see that. Yes, you can. What's interesting is obviously you can see so it's going from left to right, but I want to start off in Brentford's half, and you can see his defensive work rate both on the left, mainly centrally, but left and right centrally, where he's doing his work. We know that Brentford are really good at defending in numbers back. We do that with the flat line often as well. So I think Eddie Howe's would be encouraged by that, his defensive work rate, which is important. Okay, the other side of the pitch, though, again, very, very central-ish as well, operating, which is important, especially if you want to score goals. You want to be as close to in between the posts as you can. So you can see that from the heat map and the penalty box. He spends a lot of time in between the sticks, which is probably the reason why he's got 19 goals as well. But he's also very active just outside the box as well, where he'll be involved in the link-up play, stretching the pitch, very good at running in behind as well, we can attest to that as well. There's a lot to like about his gameplay and what he does, I think, in my personal opinion. So look, he's just we're speaking about his stats. Just to say also, can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. So this year alone, before actually going to this year, but I want to go to when he first came into the league and how he's improved with more and more minutes and what he does really, really well. He came in 2020 to the league, to the Premier League in 21-22, scored 10 goals with 1 assist, right? Playing 1,500 minutes, so 11 goal contributions. 1,700 minutes the following year, or 45 games, with 7 goals, 3 assists, 10 goal contributions. Following on from that, have I missed that? 21-22, 22-23. Yeah, and then 23-24, more minutes this time again. 36 games, 36 goals, 12 goals, 3 assists, 15 goal contributions. This year, with nearly 3,000 or just over 3,000 if you include the League Cup, he's got 20 goals with 4 assists, 19 goals in the Premier League itself, or 4 assists in the league. So 23 goal contributions in the Premier League. I think that's a very, very outstanding season for any striker in the league. So he's certainly got quality, certainly a Premier League certified proven striker in my estimations. But what are you guys' thoughts on it? What are you guys' thoughts on Mr. Wissa? Let me check the chat. What was going on here? Let me go back to where I was. What's you guys' thoughts on Mr. Wissa before I do some comparisons between him and Mr. Isak and see if they can play together as well. We go up, we go up, we go up. Let me get a drink. Oh, great. Camera's off. Oh, need to fix my camera. As long as you guys can hear me. Let's get the camera back and working. Touched the wires and everything went kaput. All right, back online. So Aaron Kane, normally I'd say no to a player like Nkunku, but Chelsea have a million players, and his days at Leipzig shows that there's a player there if Eddie can get it out of him. Everyone says that. I need to take a closer look at Nkunku. Because there's a lot of people that have that sentiment about him. Davey Eddie, if we look at Wissa and Pedro's stats, Wissa skates it, and he doesn't even take penalties. He doesn't take penalties. He's had a very good improvement. You can see he's like the more minutes he gets, the more goal contributions and assists that he has. Honestly, Aaron Kane, Wissa has more non-penalty goals than Isak. I saw that, which I found interesting. Yeah, I did see that. Which again, you want as close to quality as possible, don't you? Between two players, you don't want to drop in quality. Dave Eddie Mbemba scored 5 pens and played 3 more games than Wissa. So I take it that Wissa's got better stats than Mr. Better output than Mr. Goal and assist output than Mr. Mbemba. Is that what you're telling me? Aaron Kane, Brentford are a counter-attacking team. Eddie seems to be assembling a transition-based team with Anga and Wissa coming in. Yeah. It will be interesting to see how he does with less space in front of him. I think very similar to Elanga. What's interesting about these guys is that Wissa is really good at dribbling, or decent at dribbling, for what I can see, quick feet. Now, that's not to say there's a guarantee that he'll be good at low blocks, but there's qualities, I guess, that you would say you want someone that can get past the player if you're going to do a low block, and that's what he has, which is good to see. So, yeah, I'll take that on board, though. Davey Eddie, I think Wissa is better in the air than Isak. Really? He's really 45%. Maybe I'm wrong. 45% is low for Wissa. And actually getting in that 6-yard box, not knocking Isak, he's class. Like, of course, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, no player is beyond criticism. No person is beyond criticism, to be honest. But I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised that Isak is worse ahead than Wissa. If you can back out with some stats, I'll be interested to see. Well, actually, I'm going to show some stats in a moment. Tim, 1937, good to see you. God bless you. Hi, Philip. Well, hi, Phil. Hope you're well. Would you play Wissa with Isak? Yes, we will. There'll be games where we'll do that. If he stays in brackets, he will stay. He will stay and change formation or have him a backup rotation in 4-3. So all those things, Tim, all those things. So he will be a backup and rotation, but they'll also at times when called upon they'll play together either in a 4-4-2 or even a 4-3-3. But what would happen is you'd have it depends on what side of the pitch we're playing. So you'd have Isak and Wissa up front with maybe the third player dropping back to the midfield area, depending on how we want to do it, depending on the team. So maybe providing more power, more players in that midfield area, or even kind of doing the same thing on the right side, changing it up that way, or having our fullbacks coming forward, or so we have a 3-4-2-1 as well, which we would play as well. So it all depends on their position. And from there's limited scouting reports that I've seen, but what they've all said quite as a common theme is that Wiss is a very, very intelligent player. They've all said that he's very tactically flexible. He understands where to be, positions, everything else like that. And that's very, very important to Eddie Howe. It's very important to any coach, really. So, yes, to all those things, Tim. And to be honest, if you're 29 years old, you're playing the Champions League for a team like Newcastle with a striker like Isak, you're probably thinking, yeah, it's going to be great. And if you can score those goals of just, where it's essentially you and Mbeumo who are like the key players, and in the team now where you're going to have Elanga, you're going to have Gordon, you're going to have Isak, Bruno, Tonali. I think Wissa probably fancies his chances of increasing his return, to be honest, as well. Kim Cam, good to see you. God bless you. Evening all the Toon Army. Evening Philip. Evening to you. Good to see you, Kim Cam. Register Kev. God bless you. Good to see you. Careful, Toon United might come back for Wissa. We'll give you Hoyland for 35. Do you know what? Anything is possible in this game. I'm not even going to be like, oh, watch, we're going to get him. It has been a very interesting summer transfer indeed. But I think you guys are looking at Nicholas Jackson register, Kev. The reports are saying Sesko as well. I'd be so jealous if we get Sesko. But my friend Nicholas Jackson is also high up the list. Let me know what your thoughts are on him. Kim Cam, what's going on? Are we in turmoil? We had a great season. Money again. No, exactly. And I think media and online stirs up everything. The main thing is people to, like, the players, the manager, remaining calm. Switch off your phones if you have to, honestly. I have to do that. But yeah, I share your sentiment, Kim Cam, to be honest. I share your sentiment. Bobby Fairview, Chelsea bought Nkunku for 52 million. 52 million, but his current book value is 35. Okay. So they probably want to match that or get a little bit over. I'm sure Chelsea would love a 40 million, 45 million thing there. I think you can get him for 35 million. He definitely lost motivation because Mareka has not once played him in his natural position. So his natural position, is it the left 8 position? Is that his natural position? Let me see. Nkunku, Bobby Fairview. Nkunku was excellent at CWC, but he is competing with Palmer and Enzo Fernandez. Okay. And for political reasons, he will never be ahead of them. He was not bought by the current sporting directors. Okay. That makes sense. El Capo, good to see you. God bless you. Evening, people. Wissa played out the whole season without injury. Yeah, he done well. And 19 goals is definitely more than A+. And he comes with no sick notes. He's proven in the Premier League. Yeah, exactly. Really good resume. Dave Yeti, I suppose I don't know Isak's stats in the air. I just think Wissa looks more natural heading the ball. Okay. Fair play. And sometimes the eye test is a good indicator. Janista, good to see you. Evening, Philip and the chat. God bless you, Janista. Good to have you. And finally, Aaron Kane. Aaron, to be fair to Nkunku, he never played as a number 10 because Cole Palmer is there for Chelsea. Ah, okay, okay. I have to look into Nkunku a little bit more deeper, to be honest. I have to look into him a little bit more deeper because we've been searching for a number 10, but his age, is it, how old is he now? Okay, you guys have got me curious. I'm supposed to do something else. You guys have got me curious about Nkunku. Just quick tangent there, guys. Just hang with me. Nkunku. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Let me have a look at it. Oh, you can't see it. I'm going to take a quick tangent on Nkunku. You guys have got me curious, should I say. 1997 date of birth. So how old is he? He's 27. It says 195k though. Weekly. Bobby, we can't do 195k. I'll be real with you. We're not doing 195k. Lots of green bars though. He's played 921 minutes. It's not a lot of minutes at all. He needs to play more minutes for me to judge him. But 195k, if I'm already thinking this is a no go. This is a no goer. Somebody, if there's a report to say that he's willing to drop his wages, do let me know. All right. So back to look at that. I love the PDF. We're back on the PDF, guys. You can't see all my surround PowerPoints anymore. I'm moving up in the tech world. I want to compare Mr. Isak and Mr. Wissa and answer the question. I think it was Tim that asked, is if they can play together. So let's just, obviously, as always, guys, I use the FB Ref stats. I've did it for this season. I focused on the Premier League. We used a little bit of AI and comparisons. So this is what we got. So Wissa. Oh, my name is blocking it. That's annoying. Okay, so this is Wissa, Alexander Isak and Wissa statistical comparisons. So they've both played significant amount of time, minutes this season. With Wissa starting a little bit more games, 34 games he started, whereas Wissa started 23. And Wissa's contributing as a substitute with 25 substitute appearances as well. So Isak has a higher number per minute as well, so he's played a little bit more. Standard stats. So Isak edges out Wissa on goals, 19 to 13 goals. Goals. Did they get this right? They did 4 and 2 assists. 19 goals for it says 13 goals for Isak. You better do. I hope we got the right stats here, guys. Should do. 19 and 13. You got 13. Wissa's got 13. No, Wissa's got 19 goals. Let me double check on Isak. Isak's got in the Prem. Let me go to Sofa Score. Isak. Sofa Score. Let me make sure I got that right. Isak Sofa Score. Isak's got more than 20 in the league. He does. He's got 23 in the league. Oh, that must be 23 rather than 13. 23 to 19. So a little bit of a typo there. Little bit of a typo. You know, we have to double check these things. We have to double check these things. We can't just be doing anything. Let me go back to the screen. Oh, you had the same screen, guys. I thought I had you guys in FB Ref with me. But look, essentially, Isak's got 23 goals and in the Prem, and Wissa's got 19. With Wissa's got more assists. Okay, so and expected goals and assists, reflecting a stronger goal scoring threat, which Isak does, obviously. Both have similar shot accuracy, which is interesting. With I think Isak's got 0.62 and Wissa has 0.63, but Isak's higher involvement, 217 touches, suggests a greater overall impact. Yeah. So shooting, Isak has more shots. Again, he's playing more games, 41 versus 29, and a higher shot on target percentage as well. Not too much though, 46% shots on target to Isak and 41% to Wissa, showing better finishing efficiency. His XG shots per shot, his XG per shot is 0.18, matches Wissa's, but Isak converts more chances. Isak is a killer. Passing, Isak completes more passes, but again, he plays a little bit more games, which is fine, with a high accuracy at 84%, with Wissa at 78%, indicating a better distribution. Excuse me. Wissa, however, has a slight edge in key passes at 4.3 to Isak's 4.1. So a lot of similarities in terms of how they play. They're not too far off each other. And assists per 90 as well. So that's interesting. Pass types. Wissa is more involved in live passes. So he kind of involved more in the play. It kind of has to be the way Brentford play. And crosses as well. He's got 20 to Isak's 10 crosses. So just in a wider role. While Isak dominates in progressive passes as well. And that's probably part of how we play. That's a bit of a difference as well. We know that Wissa interchanges with Mbeumo quite a bit as well. Obviously, the Wissa spends a little bit more time in the penalty box. Goals and shot creation. Isak creates more shot creating actions, highlighting his playmaking ability. Defensive action. Wissa is more active defensively, while Isak contributes more in aerial duels. 26 to 12. So he's a little bit better in the aerial drills, but he has played more games. Possession, Isak has more touches, we know that, and carries as well by 615 to 550 to Wissa's, showing greater ball involvement. Again, that could be down to the fact that Wissa's played a little bit less minutes while in the Prem, while Wissa excels in progressive carry. So both of them can carry, both of them can dribble, both of them are involved in goals and shot creating actions. It's just that Isak edges it in a few of those as well. Obviously, Isak is superior in the goal scoring. Isak's weaknesses are limited defensive contribution, which I think is partly the way we want to play. We want to usually keep one man up the field at least when we're defending. Oh, I came off it. Here we go. Whereas Wissa's strengths is he's a versatile defensive work rate. You see him in the heat maps, as we saw in the heat maps, so effective wide areas, his broader distribution and decent crossing. His substitute impact is also notable, which again we want to use him as a substitute ourselves, to be honest, as well. Let me go back. Wissa weaknesses, lower goal output as well, which isn't too bad. It isn't too bad when we say lower goal output. Okay, and finally, can these guys play together? So the heat map suggests he thrives as a traditional striker. That's Isak staying near the goal. Wissa's wider heat map indicates he can operate on the flanks or as a secondary forward. So you can imagine if they do play together, Isak will be the main number 9 role, whereas Wissa will be just behind him in a more playmaking role. But I think both of them can interchange. He can operate as a secondary forward. They could complement each other, with Isak leading in the line and Wissa cutting in the edge from the wings, or supporting as a second striker. Synergy. Isak's playmaking, shot creating actions can feed Wissa's involvement off the ball, while Wissa's defensive work and crossing can support Isak's aerial ability. The combined 23 assists and 32 goals could create a balanced attack. I don't know where they got 23 assists from. It must be from, I don't know, I think it's, again, they got the numbers wrong there, because Wissa's got 4 assists and Isak's got 2, so 6 assists. And Isak's got 23 goals and Wissa's got 19 goals, so a little bit higher. Tactical fit, 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. We talked about that. We play that all the time. And I hear some Newcastle fans say we don't play 4-4-2. We play 4-4-2 during game. We can have 3 different formations during games. We usually go into a 4-5-1 when we're defending the ball. We'll go into a 4-4-2 generally in terms of like a kind of out of possession in general when we're not defending, but maybe we're without the ball, and into a 4-3-3 when we're attacking. Like, it's not, people keep on acting like it's a wild thing. And just people in general, like 4-4-2, like nobody uses 4-4-2. They do like this is the foundation of football anyway. I had to just vent about that one. Um, so yeah, they can both play together. They've got a lot of similarities in terms of on the ball, uh, dribbling, carrying the ball, shots on target, playmaking, a little bit more on the Isak side of things. Like so, a lot there. So you can see even if they're rotating, Newcastle don't have to change the way we play too much if we put Wissa on instead of Isak. Of course, there's distinctions and there's differences, and Isak is just a killer in front of goal. But if we're talking about like shots on target and things of that nature and shot accuracy, Wissa isn't too far from him. He isn't too far from him. And who's to say that um, Wissa around more quality players, which he has been around with obviously in Bremer previously, he doesn't improve. So there's a lot to like there. Let me know what you guys are saying in the chat. I did have my when the Whistle's name came. I guess maybe when I say reservations, and that's partly due to maybe I forgot what the name for it is, but after maybe we've gone after I had my reservations, and it's not Whistle's fault. It's obviously after you've chased your Pedro, your Ekatikes, your Delaps, and there's been tenuous links to Sesko's. I didn't quite realize just how much maybe my own internal expectations were there. So it's not to say that Wissa isn't great. Obviously, he is a good player, and you're going to be hard pressed to find someone of that quality who'll be a good backup option to that level. It's almost like a Barnes Gordon. Again, the drop off isn't too much. And with Isak, again, the drop off isn't such that we're going to suffer like greatly, in my opinion. And Murphy and the Langer. And that's what you want. That's what you call depth. And Osola, we're going to send that on loan. Should we get Mr. Wissa over the line? Hopefully, we will. So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Register Kev, no sir, he's on the list as Jackson. I don't want him. I think he's a decent, but keep Jackson away, especially for the price. But I think Ben Jacobs already turned down those rumors. Nothing serious. Fair play. Fair play. Davey Eddy, still 38 days left in the window. No, not tempting fate. 38 days. Is that right? I thought we got 6 weeks. I just feel maybe 38 days. No, I thought we got 6 weeks. I just feel we will be happy at the end of it. Great. That's exactly it. I think we will have a successful window. I feel the same way, Davey. Juniesta Nkunku's ball 1997 turns 28 this year. Okay. He's on 195k. We're not unless I don't know if he's willing to reduce his wages to like 100k, which I don't see happening. It's a no go for me. Kim Cam, Wissa, like Elanga, will thrive at St. James's Park and will be stars like Isak if we strengthen. I think we will strengthen. I wouldn't be surprised. Register Kev says Nkunku always been a secondary striker player. Okay. It would make sense. For us. I just don't see the wages too much. Aaron Kane, to be honest, I'd go for Charles de Ketelaere. I didn't think Nkunku wages were that they're astronomical as well. Yeah, a lot of things about Charles being said as well. I've seen him a few times play for Atlanta. He's a young prospect there. Kim Cam, Wissa will be our new Demba Ba if we pay the price for a change. I like that. If he proves to be our new Demba Ba, I really, really like that. I loved it when we had that Demba Ba. I'll be honest with you guys. That was a great time. And Nkunku will get you, Bobby Fairview, Nkunku will get you goals, so he's going to want the wages. Despite his limited game time, he was our second highest goal scorer behind Palmer last season. Are you serious? Your second highest? You're going to make me go back to the thing again. I have to take this off. You guys are going to have to make me go. You're gonna make me go back again. I stopped the wrong screen. I stopped the wrong screen. All right, so how much did he score last season? In fact, let me go here. 195k though, Bobby. I can't see it. I can't see it. Those wages are high, 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 high. How did you? That's from the old. That's from the old regime, isn't it? What did he get this season? Had a good. Yeah, did a good CWC. He got 14 goals for you guys in the Prem. I don't remember seeing those goals and 5 assists. Okay. I have to take a note to myself and study this guy. Again, the wages. I keep on going back to the wages. The wages are impossible. Liam Knowles, good to see you. God bless you, sir. Wissa, a great signing to allow more budget for other positions. I think we're losing to Spurs, though. The lad is settled in London town. Liam, you started that off so well, and you ended it on a heart crushing moment. He's going back for someone. He's gone off to Brentford to complain to someone, either to go to Tottenham or to go to Newcastle. They've put Newcastle's name all over it. We'll see. Honestly, I don't know what else to. The meltdown I can feel the fan base have if we don't get Wissa over the line. Goodness gracious, Olu, good to see you. Great to have you on the channel. You guys know myself, Olu from Spurs Kings Rival Show. We have a great time on the show as well. He's a real gentleman off screen as well. So good to see you, Olu. God bless you, sir. Isak, Liam Knowles could draw him in though. Yes, that's what that's what I'd hope. Maybe that's where he's come to play. Like he's like, Champions League next to Isak. Yeah, why not? I hope so. A couple more, and we will talk about a little bit about transfer business. I kind of do don't want to talk about. I'll talk about it. Get you guys. Wissa is a bulletproof, and Capo says Wissa is bulletproof, and that's what we need right now. And surely that has to be a good move for the club. And what's going to be a very challenging season ahead. It's going to be intense. It's going to be competitive for sure. Queen of Heart, good to see. God bless you. Great to see you on Chris's show yesterday. Hit him. That's it. Sorry, yes, guys. Hit him as Queen of Heart says. Thank you. Hit him likes, guys. Hit him likes. Like, share, and subscribe, folks. Please do. I'm trying to I think the highest we got was 50 likes. I want to say 50 because we had 100 people at one point due to never a foul raid, nearly 200 or something like that. But typically we're getting 20 to 30 likes now. So let's try and break that record tonight, guys. We've got 25 people watching, so let's go for it. Let us go for it. Olu, 442 1998 called they want their formation back. We want our Les Ferdinand and Shearer days back for sure. Wow. I thought I was getting to the end of the chat, and then a whole bunch of messages came up. Let's see what we can do. I went too high. Here we go. If Wissa plays with Isak, will there be room for Joe Linton in the team? There'll be rotation. There'll always be rotation. Isak and Joe Linton are both proved that they need rotating, for sure. Liam Knowles need a session on Mamadou Doumbia. I've seen him come up. I don't know how serious those links are. Limited sight on him, looks raw with a crazy long range strike. Yeah, he likes to hang on to the ball as well, from what I've seen the highlights as well. And Nkunku has a shot conversion of 25%. That's good for a cam. That's not bad. That's not bad, Bobby. Not in the EPL Conference League tax. Okay, that's why the conversion rate is relevant, though. Iniesta Spurs will likely have to sell Richarlison first before signing another striker, so advantage NUFC. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Signing Wissa would feel like we've replaced Wilson. Yeah, absolutely. Liam Knowles still hoping for a cheeky bid for Jimmy Fred Hendrick. A big one. I'm a shock. Dave Yeddy. True, Philip. If we get beat to the Wissa side, and especially of Spurs, yeah, it's gonna be a long day for everybody. Wissa's cut his training camp short for somebody. He's cut it short for somebody. Charlie Wilson, no, he's not. He doesn't need freedom. He's a free Isak from all the media drama and all the people that can't stand the fact that Newcastle United bought him when nobody else wanted him, raised him to the great striker he is now, playing for a great team. And this whole notion about he's outgrown Newcastle, he is grown with Newcastle, two Champions League qualifications and one League Cup, all shows you that Mr. Isak, with his 2 seasons of 20 goal contribution, which he's never achieved before until he came to Newcastle, shows me that Newcastle is the best place for the man. But God bless you, Charlie Williams. I hope you're well. I hope you are well. Adrian Pickett, hard to free Isak when he's living rent free. Okay, sorry. Okay, here we go. We've gone. Liam Knowles final one, and then we'll see. We'll talk. Speaking of transfers and stuff like that, I'll touch on it. Actually, I'm kind of second guessing myself on it, but we'll see. Liam Knowles, Spurs have it. Fans have it 100. Spurs fans have it 100. Is Isakness the new Kane? Yeah, yeah. Isak is the new Kane, media-driven transfer. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, Liam, what do you think about it? Media transfer. The way it's going on though, it's like, what do you believe is happening, Liam? Or anybody in the chat. So, what do you guys believe is happening with the Isak charm? What is the nuts and bolts of it? What do you think is really, really happening? It's clear, obviously, we know Liverpool have interest. They've approached Newcastle. I would imagine in the background, intermediaries are talking. Isak's agent is talking. But where is Isak at? I just struggle to understand. Not struggle. That's not the correct word. Sure, even from a Isak's point of view, the market opens up next season. Should he not want to stay at Newcastle? Ideally, I'd hope he'd want to stay at Newcastle. But if he doesn't, try to be more objective. Barcelona, Lewandowski's going to retire. Bayern Munich, Kane's probably going to move on. The market's really going to open up. So I'm not sure what else there is to say. I mean, stay with Newcastle, get your wages higher, whatever we can afford to give you, and just play. Like, maybe that's just the plan, to be honest. And maybe the rest of it is all media hype. We will find out. Okay. So speaking of hopefully not losing to Spurs for Wissa, we really hope. Let's talk about our transfer dealings thus far. I'm not going to go through them individually because that will take. Then we'll run out of time in the show. Let's start off with this. Let's go back. And obviously, is it time for a change? Is it time for a change in terms of our transfer strategy? And I'll kind of give my overall thoughts and get you guys' overall thoughts as well. Let me get a drink of water. Now, some people think our transfer strategy is a bit like this. Sorry, guys, I had to get this. That where essentially all that is happening is that Newcastle are. We've got no sporting director, which is true. We've got no. The board aren't really that active. PIF are disinterested. Eddie Howe is handling everything himself. And at the same time, he's not really been given the resources, i.e., the ability to match competitors' wages and fees and transfer fees on top of that. Some are thinking we're moving too slow. Some are in terms of like low balling and why don't we just lowball and why don't we just give them what they want, which is like the cardinal sin of negotiating. But fine, why don't we just give teams what they want? Um, we're getting rejected left, right, and center. We can't even say for sure. Well, no, we can't even say with confidence right now that we can beat Tottenham to Wissa. That's the situation that people think we're in, which is understandable. And so, and plus all the attention obviously on Isak and other players that we're trying to keep, and people have gone really kind of. I understand it, like down in the dumps over it all, and so we'll talk about the players. We'll talk about the players that obviously we missed out on, and I think what's important is to understand what has happened. I'm going to give my version of events. I'd love to hear you guys' version of events as well. What you guys think as well. Let me know in the chat. I know what our rivals think and what they believe is that we're getting. I think part that we're getting rejected left, right, and centre, which is there's truth in that, and that um, uh, we're not getting anywhere, and we could all and everything else. I think the truth of the matter is, obviously, and they know this, is that this is a crucial, crucial period for Newcastle. And if we get our transfer business right, and especially if we make Champions League again for the second season running, it's over for them. Our revenues, we can bring our consistency and show people that players are consistent. Champions League side will be more attractive as well. So I think there's a huge narrative and media spin been built up to show Newcastle as rejection FC, unable to get players over the line. So, and that's all understandable from where they're coming from. What I'll say is this, and I promise not to get into individual players, but this is how I see it. And I haven't got all the players here. Have I got all the players here? I've got a couple of them. And I'll go back to those players, but obviously we've talked about how the scouting process goes before. We talked about the scouting identification, initial negotiation, agreement and terms, medicals, and final checks, and then obviously the final signing announcements and everything on top of that. But Newcastle are kind of getting themselves stuck in the hurdle around the initial negotiation and contract negotiation, I would say. João Pedro, obviously that's a player that we've been interested in for years. We lost out to Chelsea. His teammates have said that he wants to go to a club in London. He's been paid a wage that we can't afford to give right now. We can afford to give, but we can't afford to give without rustling the feathers of our current team structure. He's not the player that we're willing to do that for just yet. I think it's on 150k a week, and maybe Bobby can confirm that. And he's gone for 55 plus 5 million or whatnot. And we lost it to Chelsea. And he went straight to the World Cup where he won his first trophy, really, I think. So again, competition. Dean Huijsen, we know, went to Real Madrid. We triggered his release clause. Another person that we were long term. We triggered his release clause. He said we gave an incredible pitch, but he preferred to go to Real Madrid. Fair play. The only other strike player was João Pedro, Dean Huijsen. There was a third player. People want to say Trafford. So Trafford. I think Trafford's the one that's got people's really annoyed. This sell-on clause is complicating things. I think I don't know how many percentage it is to Man City, but I also think that Man City got first bids or first not first refusal. It's a situation where essentially if any team bid, say they bid 30 million for Trafford, Man City have 3 days to match that bid if they want the player back. So what's happening right now is it's a bit of brinksmanship, in my opinion. Newcastle, they've walked away. I think they've walked away, but they're looking back because Man City are still negotiating with Burnley to bring the price down. I don't know if you guys saw, Man City are also in for Diogo Dallo, not Diogo Dallo. That's right back from Manchester United. What's that guy? The goalkeeper's name? Diogo something from Porto for like 60 million, which I'll be amazed. I'll be so amazed if um, Diogo is landed together with Trafford because Trafford's wasting his time. But the point being is 40 million is too high. And even Man City seem to think so as well. Costa, thank you, Liam. Diogo Costa, that's it. So the point is that even 40 million, Man City think is too high. So Newcastle weren't wrong to do that. People say diddly daddly. And maybe again last season when I did think like I think Burnley wanted 20, 25 million and we're offering 16 million and we didn't want to give it. We had all sorts of PSR situations then as well. But at the same time, if there was any other time to get Trafford, it was last season, and we chose not to. So yes, I think there's some criticism there. But Hugo Ekitike, even though we've chased him before in the past, I can't help but think that he was an opportunity. We knew that Liverpool wanted him. We know that Liverpool want Isak as well, and we just complicated matters for Liverpool by going for him. I do believe that Newcastle, and I'll stick to it, that Newcastle wanted both Isak and Ekitike. But at the same time, killing two birds with one stone is we also knew that Liverpool would either um, drop everything and go for Ekitike, or let us take Ekitike, at which point we'd have both Ekitike and Isak, and that puts them at no leverage with anything at all. So we've got Liverpool to spend a whole lot of money on another striker, and they say they need two forwards anyway, and we'll see what they do, but it's put them at a disadvantage. So for me, so far, we've been moving strategically. The lap was another opportunity with people found out in the summer that there was a release clause. I don't think that was known straight away. And so every team was going to try for him, which they did. And he went off to Chelsea, where a lot of his Man City friends are. So in my opinion, in conclusion, apart from Trafford, where I think there's room for criticism, the other individual situations are Newcastle losing out to, and even with Trafford, obviously it's Man City. But I'm thinking about last year when there wasn't any competition. The other players have gone on to bigger clubs and have gone on to take bigger wages that we can't afford at the moment. And I don't blame our club for going for the cream of the crop in doing that. Somebody might say, why did you waste all your time going for João Pedro when you could have just got for Wissa and got it over and done with? But say, for instance, João Pedro would have come to us and we bought Wissa. Say Chelsea didn't go for João Pedro, then we would have lost out on a player that we've always wanted. So I don't blame Newcastle for trying to get the best players they think that they wanted, in my opinion. So even out of this long list, also to add, like I said, there's a mixture of players that were market opportunities, like your Ekatikes, your Laps, and there's a list of players that we know that we've targeted for a long time, like João Pedro's and Dean Huijsen's and Trafford's. And I think there's room for criticism there. But again, when I'm seeing the teams that are coming in and the wages that they're offering, I'm not I'm not I accept it for what it is in terms of what's happened in that situation with those players. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe it's not enough. Maybe I'm being too kind. Maybe I'm being not being critical enough. Let me know what you guys thoughts and Where do you think we're heading? I do believe we'll get the players that we want. I do believe eventually we will get the players for what our squad needs, and we'll be ready for the league. And we'll also sell the players that we need as well, in order to make sure that we're firmly within PSR as well. And I think we'll also keep the players that we need to keep as well. I think we'll be pretty stocked and loaded for the season, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe you don't share our confidence. Um, Ginesta, media are helping Liverpool with the mission to unsettle Isak. It's clear that they all want Isak to be the new poster boy for a Big Six club. Yeah, I can see that too. Ginesta. Well observed. Liam knows Isak needs to see us make moves. Howe is too honest. He told us all players have a short careers. Are we going to challenge? Are we going to challenge? The lad is that good. I did it again. I saw that 30-second clip. Maybe I need to go back. I didn't see the part where he was talking about players have short careers, but I'm sure he said it. It sounds like something that Howe was saying. Um, I did also share your thoughts, Liam, about Howe's been quite honest in a lot of different even in the team, when we went to pre-season, he was talking about how I think second or third day of his holidays, he found out that Mr. Mitchell's left, and essentially all the duties and responsibilities in terms of transfer recruitment were down to Howe, which no one expected. So there's a big load for Howe to carry, and he's been carrying it throughout this whole transfer window as well. I think Newcastle are being ambitious. Isak does need to see that in terms of player coming in and what we're doing. I think the whole team needs to see that. Bruno Gomes wants to compete. He expects to compete. So there's a lot there to deliver. So this is a new stage, a new phase that Newcastle are entering into. Can we go from good to great, or from very good to great, essentially? And this is the hardest part, the hardest phase to do. So let me know, Liam, what do you think will happen? How do you think all of this will pan out? TD, big up, lads. Why do I have the feeling Isak will eventually sold to Liverpool? I, I partly think it's because the media is feeding that narrative, in my opinion. But again, I don't know how you. I'm not going to question how. I don't know. I'm not inside your mind type of thing. But if it was, whenever I have kind of doubts over it, it's to do with the media and everything else about it. And I guess it's okay to have doubts. Nothing is set in stone. Um, but it's a big test for our ownership. They've been adamant. We had Luke Edwards from the Telegraph putting in big capital letters that Isak's not for sale. So he's confident whatever messages he's getting. So let's see. It's a massive test for the ownership and for the squad and for Eddie Howe. In my opinion, Dave Eddie, in my opinion, Isak was tapped up after the Carragher final. His form dipped badly. Last 9 games, something is definitely not right. Possibly, but I do think he was walking with a groin injury at the same time, though. Hence why his form dipped as well. TD's Eddie had the problem. Expand on that. What do you mean in terms of the problem? Let me know what you think. Get rid of him. We get money. We get money, lads. Go get the real manager. You don't think? Well, how do you mean it? You don't think he's a real manager? Like you gotta tell me what you mean by that, TD. I'd love to know. Adrian. Oh no, sorry. Talking to TD. In fact, what did Adrian say to TD? If you don't mind me reading the message, TD, because unless PIF via the City of London's finest consultants can find innovative ways to transfer wealth, we're stuck. Don't let Bobby hear you say that. Liam knows how is being let down by the hierarchy. Bless ills, but we have dragged our heels installing the CEO, DOF. Someone should have been put in as interim transfer head until appointments are made. But here's my counter, if I can say, Liam. Who's to say that we haven't already selected our CEO and DOF? But obviously they're working in the background, and they've got, they're not quite clear to kind of work officially, but they're working in the background. But also, who's to say who's not work? Someone isn't working interim. If you remember for the Ekatike deal, it said that we sent a delegation over to speak to Ekatike and get it over the line. So I'll be interested to know who's in that delegation. We know Nixon, Andy Howe, and others, but there was plenty of people involved. That's not to say you're not wrong, because you're wrong, because even Eddie Howe said that he's had to pick up a lot of the slack. Um, could the hierarchy have sped it up? Possibly, but what if they sped it up and got the appointment wrong? In the short term, we'd have a sporting director. In the long term, we could eventually have a situation that we had with Dan Ashworth, where by rushing and picking the wrong person, we've got people in our club who are talking to other clubs and betraying our trust. Or you can have a Paul Mitchell. No one told Paul Mitchell to give up. Paul Mitchell just gave up. He just quit during a transfer window, during our most busy period. You know, I think that's come fairly unexpectedly. And so, even Eddie Howe said it. He's only found out second day into the transfer window that Paul Mitchell was leaving. That's insane. So I can see why, from the owner's perspective, from the hierarchy perspective, you've already had one director who's betrayed you, and you had a second director who's deserted you in your most crucial period, the transfer window. So I can see why they haven't rushed to go find another director of football or sporting director, because of those things, because you just can't find people of the right character. Um, but yeah, it's just a furious situation that we're in. Liam knows Mitchell screwed the Trafford deal, landed us with Black last year when Burnley had him in the taxi to Newcastle. Man, honestly, there's a lot of regret over that transfer window. A lot of regret. BT said that we can get Trafford next season as Burnley will get relegated. I don't even know if City get Trafford. What's going to happen with this Costa guy? Are these Costa rumours true or not? Liam knows we shot for Ekatike. We always go for a boy when the chances arise. The deal was just too rich. Yeah, exactly. And another thing about that is with what I know that maybe some people think it's a weird way of seeing it, but as soon as we know a player is after we've chased the player, as soon as we know that he's looking elsewhere or the club isn't willing to sell, we've been moving on quick. Moving on quick. There's 5 names on the screen here, but there's about 3, 4 others that I could add onto here as well. So unlike the last summer window where it's just Gahey, and nobody else, and a bit of Trafford as well, we've been very swift in terms of moving on as well. So in some ways, we've learned our past mistakes. In some ways, we're repeating them. But I don't think it's all our fault in terms of that, in my opinion, anyway. Ginesta, do you think João Pedro would be an NUFC player now if we offer to Brighton 55 million? No, I think he wanted to be in Chelsea. I think he wanted to be in London. Honestly, I think he's always wanted to be in London, and he's made that clear. It seems that Eddie spots the talent and other teams try and grab them. I think we're all shopping in the same market, to be fair. Like, those guys have got their own, they've got some high-tech stuff and equipment. Actually, speaking of high-tech equipment and everything else, I'm going to speak about our new appointee in a moment as well. Let me get in. Oh my word, there's tons of great messages. All right, let me just try and see what I can get through. BT, in the context of discussing Alexander Isak's future with Newcastle, emphasizing his respect for players' careers and the need to consider their individual situations. Okay, so that's what he's discussing it in. Okay, yeah, and at the same time, yeah. I think he has to balance a lot there, isn't he? He has to balance a lot there, Eddie Howe. But it's not up to Howe either. It's up to the owners. And at the end of the day, Newcastle United need to get this Champions League. I'm really thinking about Champions League qualification. We need to get the Champions League qualification this season. And there's Isak's needs and there's our needs as a club. And we're all going to have to be grown up and mature about it, which is nobody put a gun to Isak's head when he signed the contract. And nobody told Liverpool to turn up and make huge offers and put media pressure. It was all good until that was happening. I think a compromise could be made. Give us that one more year. We'll get back into the Champions League again. We'll set you up with a contract with a release clause and we keep it moving. But at this moment in time, I'm with the owners if they're true to their word. That is, we're not selling Isak, and I agree with that. And when they say short careers, he's having a great career here at Newcastle. He's having a great career here at Newcastle, going into the Champions League, beating PSG 4-1, getting into League Cup finals. Like, he's having a great career here. We're not holding him back. We're not fighting relegation. Isak hasn't been at Newcastle when we're fighting relegation. Bruno Guimaraes has. Bruno Guimaraes has been at Newcastle when we're fighting relegation. And he joined us at that point of time. And he put no clause in his contract to say that if Newcastle get relegated, that he wouldn't be playing for us in the Championship. So short careers or not, one man signs a contract and lives up to his word, drags his team from out the mud of relegation fight into Champions League glory, and sticks by his word and sticks by his contract. Another man Isak has to go and make that same decision in order to and fulfill his contract as well. Newcastle aren't holding anybody back. Isak wasn't scoring 20 plus goals before he came to Newcastle. Isak wasn't known in the Premier League in the way that he is known. So Newcastle aren't holding anybody back when they're talking about. I know this ain't at you, El Capo, by the way. Sorry, just triggered something within me. I think there's like this overall kind of feeling of what the media trying to say. Oh, think about their careers, like Newcastle, like we're fighting relegation or something. Like, we just haven't been in multiple cup finals. Like, Isak hasn't seen multiple cup finals, hasn't been in the Champions League, isn't surrounded by great players. Like, that's not happening. So I reject that kind of notion that Newcastle are holding anybody back. Newcastle are promoting careers. Anyway, sorry, I went off on one there. I went off on that. A couple more messages because I do want to be able to share, because I really like the new data guide that's come across. I've got 2 minutes. I'll try and do the chats as well. Wow, that list looks bad. In retrospect, maybe I fancy our chance to do the bully at SJB. We will see. Adrian Pickett, I'm not as optimistic as you, Philip, when you factor in the sluggishness over the stadium announcement, training ground, sponsorship. There seems to be a wrench in our gears. Well, the wrench is understanding where Man City case is going to go, the ATP, and as well as the other PSR situation. If that gets cleared, like it was cleared the first time, and then the Premier League dragged us back into court again, how Newcastle do their sponsorships changes forever. So if, say for instance, only now we can get maybe 100 million for our naming rights. I'm not even sure we can get that at the moment. With the new kind of rules, if Man City go, which they are doing in the courts right now, able to prove once again that these rules are unlawful, what if we know that our naming rights could change to 200 million, but we've already signed on to the 100 million naming rights and we can't get the 200 million going? So I think Newcastle, it's a waiting game. It's not easy, but it has to happen. Bobby Fairview, it's probably not a question of whether Isak is available for sale. The problem is he's been underpaid. I disagree in terms of underpaid. I mentioned like Salah was earning 90k. in his third year. Isak is earning more than that. Newcastle are willing to provide him with a I don't know how much Newcastle are willing to provide. No one's saying that. No one's been able to mention that. But I think Newcastle will be able to provide him a really, really good wage as well. It's not that Newcastle are underpaying him, it's maybe underpaying him in comparison to what others are willing to pay, are able to pay because of the same PSR that's actually holding us back, ironically, as well. On Eddie Howe, El Capo and Eddie Howe, where do the Knackers think the club would be without him? Howe hasn't let the fans down. It's the CEO or DOF who have undermined the club. Eddie Howe is the foundation of what's going to make this Newcastle team great, in my opinion, quite honestly as well. All right, so a couple more, and I will finish up with a review of our newest appointee. Sorry, guys, I've had to scroll down a little bit further. If I missed anybody, Robojog says, I think Howe and Arteta are similar in terms of how much control they have. And ironically, the situations aren't too bad in which they came in, Robojog, which is Arteta came into Arsenal when you weren't at your highest. You had tons of issues and situations, and you need the one guy to clear it all up, which is what Eddie Howe's having to do. I would even say Arteta less so often after after Berta joined. This is high risk setup and could bang or bust, which is more likely. Yeah, it's a risk in all of these things. Agent Pickett, it's certain that 300k for Isak would bankrupt us. It wouldn't bankrupt us, but it would put us in a situation where we would have to give a similar wage to everybody else. And it will put us in a situation where we won't be able to buy the players that we are. If anybody knows a club, or how many clubs do you know who have a revenue of 320 million, who pay their players 300k, who play several players 300k? If you guys know any clubs that can do that and are able to do that, then you know what, I'll be like on your side about that. I'll understand it. I'll be like, why aren't we doing this? Liam Noel says, agree that there is movement in the CEO roles. Feels Suds' appointment is down to someone coming in above him. Yes, absolutely. Davey, good show tonight, Philip. Nice and civilized and relaxed. Thank you, Davey. Appreciate you for that. Though I did have a little bit of it wasn't a rant, but you know, I think who's this? Bobby Fairview. I think Newcastle fans are justified skeptical about the performance of the board. Not expeditiously hiring a supporting director is part of a broader theme. You mean CEO? Maybe the CEO. If you're talking about the CEO, because obviously we've known about Mr. Ills, God bless him, for a while. But yeah, I've noted the reasons why we've taken our time. We haven't had the greatest track records with sporting directors, and it's not through our faults, in my opinion. Dave Eddy, there is always turbulence at the two, but we will come through it. Many great days ahead of us. How away the lads? I love that. Dave Eddy, Queen of Heart, I agree. And finally, El Capo. Isak only scored 9 goals this season. Excuse me, El Capo. Isak only scored 9 goals this season when we bought him. He knows it was us, and only us, who took the gamble on what was a club record sign at the time. Ignore the media storm, because that's all it is. I agree. I absolutely agree. I just don't like this notion of that, like, we've got to think about players' careers, like we're holding him back, like we're a ball and chain. Like, since when? Since when going to Champions League? Anyway, I'm about to start again there. I was about to start again there. Yeah, me go there, El Capo. All right, so this gentleman, where is he? I need to find the screen again because I've prepared some stuff for him. He's got a great video, and I am trying to find him. Did I put him on this screen? Known as Suds, our new appointee technical director. It's an interesting post, and I don't know if it's rumors that it was Paul Mitchell who set it up before he left. I don't know, but I am glad that he is here. I'm going to go straight into a video that he's shown. because it kind of gives a good indicator of who he is. And I'll provide you some background before I get into it, actually, for the sake of time. So let me get you into this. Share this tab instead. Can you guys see what's on my screen? Oh, no, you can't. Okay, so it's because I haven't got it on. So do this instead. Go back to StreamYard. Take this bit off. Put this bit on. Okay, so this is Suds. Let me just give you a bit of back. And where is it? Someone had it. Someone shared me his. This is what happens when you got too many screens. Too many, not screens. What do you call it? You call it something. Let me first read his appointment and see if I can find it. Now I'll introduce the video. Because he's got a longer name, and I put it. He's a well-rounded character because I've watched his videos, and I was very, very impressed. Maybe I can't find it. Okay, let me just start, and I'll just do my best to kind of introduce him properly. So, share this tab instead. So this is our new technical director, not this guy. This guy. I have to fast forward it a little bit. Mr. Sudarshan Gopaladisikan. I'm so sorry. Suds for sure. Suds for sure. He was previously very interesting title, Football Intelligence Director at Atalanta, and he had a similar technical director role at Benfica. His expertise is in data, in maths, like a leading maths guy, and he provides football teams with. So his role at Newcastle is going to be, in fact, I can get this because I can tell what Newcastle want from him. I'll explain it. Where are you? I gotta get this at least. He's going to provide. Here we go. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. We'll go drop back in. Took it off. How did I take it off? Share screen. All right, so Suds, technical director role. So he will be reporting to a new director, Sudarshan, known as Suds, will lead the club's football data operations, working closely with Eddie Howe and his coaching staff. So I kind of see him as, you know what James Bunce does? Obviously, James Bunce does the performance, is the performance director, is essentially in charge of a medical department, ensuring players are, able to perform at the highest level. Suds does that from a technical level, using data, ensuring that that we've got our, able to analyze our games, but also to get our transfers and to kind of help us on the recruitment side of things. But he's a very interesting character. Like I'm going to share with you a link of his presentations. Like he's a very, very personable guy, and I can see him and Eddie working together. So working closely, as the website says, working closely with Eddie Howe and his coaching staff and the club performance, medical analysis, methodology, and recruitment teams. His role will be dedicated to implementing data-informed practices across all sport departments throughout men's and women's academy teams. Suds joins the Magpies after leaving side Atalanta, where he was director of football intelligence. During his time in Bergamo, Atlanta secured 3 consecutive top five finishes in Serie A. He won the Europa League and reached the Coppa Italia. Prior to his move to Italy, he was head of sports data science. That's it. At Portuguese side Benfica in his 5 seasons in Lisbon. So he's got a lengthy CV. Benfica's men's team won the Premier League title and reached the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League and Europa League. Outside of his club experience, Suds lectures for FIFA's executive education programs, and that's where I think I got the videos from. Big up to Mighty Win for sharing it with me. And the PFA Business School data-driven decision making. Sud says, "I'm delighted and honored to be joining Newcastle United as technical director, as he should be. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of working with clubs that have deeply passionate fan bases, and Newcastle stands out as its unique connection between the team, the city, and the supporters." There's other stuff he said there as well. So I got to from this is from his this is like a data makers fest, which is like some data analyst forum geek show. It's not a geek show, but it's a performance like a you got all the latest football where people go to find out all the latest like football tech and whatever and like methodologies and everything else on top of that. What I found really, really impressive about Suds' presentation is that he's got incredible self-awareness, kind of like what James Bunce has about when what he says is he understands like when he comes into teams, often the managers, even the directors who hired him, don't always know where he fits in. They just know that they should have him, and he's incredibly aware of that. And he works with them to kind of find the best niche, the best way he can operate with them and the players too. And this presentation, and he has an interview at the end of this presentation where he talks about his work with players and how it goes, and I'll show you it. He also talks about, and he also he does two things. He talks about the work he does, the data analysis essentially. He compared it to putting pineapple and ham pizza together, where he said that for thousands of years, pizza was just made, dough, tomato ingredients, and everything else. And it wasn't until the 1960s, some Greek guy in New York decided to put ham onto his pizza. And he mentioned how if you look at the pizza industry, it's like 119 billion pounds, but about a percentage of that is 1.97 billion pounds of where people eat pineapple pizza. And you're thinking, why am I talking about pineapple pizza? And what he says is that even that 1%, 1.97 billion, is still a lot. And what he said was, and he compared it to the work that he does, if I can give a club that 1%, that could be the difference between them, moving up a league table, a couple of league tables, getting the right player, being able to make between 5 to 15 million pounds. Is him adding that 1%, maybe 2%, but that 1% in helping that club to get the edge, get the competitive edge. And you can see that he's been able to do that whilst being at Benfica, being at Atalanta. I like that he viewed himself that way. Another way he described himself was almost, he said he compared it like being an apprentice. He said, when those players, those academy players, join the first team in the trainings, and they go to away games because they've been told obviously that there's belief that they've got quality, they've got the potential to do something, and they're going to show them round, see what it's like to be in the first team, and then over time they'll be able to prove whether those as academy players they will succeed and they'll become part of the first team. And he said that his role is a little bit like that, where he comes into the clubs, he comes to the teams where he kind of has got to prove himself or prove what he does. And whether it works with the sporting director, works with the manager, and he understands that they already have. He mentioned talking about how he compared it to a Rubik's Cube, where he said, look, the managers and the sport, they already have their own way of working. I've got to figure out what it is, how they think, how they work, and where I can be effective. which is a bit different to a Paul Mitchell, for instance. So I can see him fitting in. I can see Eddie Howe really, really liking him, because I think James Bunce had the similar approach. Because if we notice, Paul Mitchell has left, but James Bunce, who usually follows Paul Mitchell everywhere, has stayed at Newcastle United. And I can see Suds with his approach being able to stay at Newcastle and have an impact. And I can see him really working out with us. I'll add one more thing before I play this video. And he talked about how they review games at Atalanta. They've got a team of 200 data analysts at Atalanta, where they analyze every game. They've got 16 cameras, and he's going to talk about it, around their stadium. And they use those 16 cameras to review every pass, every shot, every movement. That's what they do. I don't know if we do that in Newcastle. I don't think so, because we would have heard about it by now. And that's when Suds talks about getting that 1%, you can't tell me that with someone with that level of expertise, with those type of ideas, should we be brave enough to take them on, can't give us that extra 1%, can't move us up the extra league table, maybe continue to win another trophy, to get maybe a wider variety of players that maybe other teams weren't looking at. So I like everything about him and what he says. Now, this is the link you guys can see on the thing on the channel. I really, really encourage you guys to watch it. He's come to the end of the show and he's getting interviewed. And the interviewer is going to ask him questions about, players and how do players respond to his data-led approach and everybody else. So I want you to, because it kind of encapsulates how he works and what he thinks as well. And I also like the fact that he has got a level of self-confidence about himself. He kind of says, look, the best thing I can do is to self-regulate. I can't think that because the manager hasn't called me or hasn't taken my ideas or hasn't gone for the player that I like or hasn't used the metric that I've kind of provided for a particular game review, that, oh, I'm not useful here, there's no point in being here, or this and that, the other. I believe in the stuff that I'm doing. And either it will work out or either I'll move on, which is true. So I like that approach. I think it would work in our current environment. So let me play this clip of you for you guys and see what you guys think. So make sure that you guys can see on your screens that you can. And let's see what he says. Just
show Pepe.
Go.
Thank you.
The players like to understand the data. For your experience, do you think that the players value the data or they don't care about it?
So he's asked him, do the players value the data that you bring? Do the players value the data that you bring?
They use the data to try to improve themselves, or what do you think?
Football players are just humans, some football players really want to improve and they really want to use data, especially the younger generations. Some football players, they just want to collect their salary and go home.
Which is true. Some players just want to collect their salary and go home. Some players will take on this data that I'm bringing and use it to improve. And he's free about it.
And they don't care. So for me, I just take the stance of whoever is really interested, who wants to learn, who wants to improve, I will be prepared and ready to support that person in the right way.
So who wants to learn, who wants to improve, I will take that person. I can imagine Elangas taking it, Gordon taking it. I can imagine a lot of our players who we know are very ambitious and determined would be he's the right person for the club that we are. We've got a lot of ambitious players that would want to improve. Even Dan Burn, in my opinion.
Okay, and at least by the end, a lot of curiosity about the use of the data. It is proprietary or it is public in your case in the Atalanta?
So yeah, the two main data sources that we use is the first is the event data. So that's manually captured. It's about 200 people in one company who are watching the game and making around 3,000 events per game.
Hold on, I have to rewind that because it's been. Did you hear what he said? 200 people analyzing how many events?
Yeah, the two main data sources that we use is the first is the event data. So that's manually captured. It's about 200 people in one company who are watching the game and making around 3,000 events per game. These are things like pass, shots, dribble,
Gosh, he has to do the.
cross. But then we have optical tracking. So we have about 16 cameras around the stadium, and that gives us the positional XY of the players at 10 hertz. So 10 frames a second, we know where everyone is, we know where the ball is, and it's very similar to the work that Flores does with Sci Sports.
You can't tell me that we can't use someone that's got 16 cameras around the whole stadium with 200 professionals who are analyzing like 3,000 events in the football game, pass and shoot, and where everybody is at any one time, that we can't squeeze out an extra 1%, 2% in our team's performance and what we're doing, that we couldn't benefit from that. And I think it's worth it. I think it's incredible. I like his approach. He doesn't. He knows that what he's doing isn't everybody's cup of tea, but he's willing. But he's got the self-awareness to understand that. And I think, but he's coming to a club that is willing to take it on, to try new ideas, in my opinion. And so I'm all for it. I'm quite excited. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. I would love to know what you guys are saying before we close up. Queen of Heart, Philip, done a smashing job as ever, providing a lot of well-informed facts. Thank you so much, Queen of Heart. I really appreciate you for saying that. For fans, which in a time of uncertainty is what is needed. Thank you, everyone else. Please hit the like. It's free. Yes, folks, please do hit the like button. Like, share, and subscribe as always. And drop a comment. Drop a comment. Thank you for that, Queen of Heart. Rich, good to see you, sir. God bless you. Hi, Philip. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day. Having a great evening. Thank you, sir. Great to see you, sir, as always. Adrian Pickett, but Isak is at the top of the wage pyramid, being a goal scorer. We don't need to pay anyone else his wages. We do, because the other even players have it in their contracts, Adrian, that if people are receiving increases in their pay, that they too would their wages also reflect that. And if Isak gets his pay increase, what's to stop Gordon from knocking on the door and saying, if Isak's getting a pay increase, I want to. What's stopping Bruno Gomes from doing that? Our captain, saying, if Isak's getting 300k, I, as the captain, who led us out of relegation, who got us into the Champions League twice, who was there when we were injury hit season, who got us into the final of the League Cup twice and won the trophy and lifted it, I deserve 300k. So it's not just Isak that's going to get it, if you can imagine. So if we can imagine in our workplaces, if we're working just as hard as everybody else, if we're honest with ourselves, some of us think we're working as hard as everybody else, but we're not. But if we are working as hard as everybody else, and people around us are getting pay increases, and even they're saying, I can't believe you haven't got a pay increase, like you're one of the best here, of course you're going to go demand a higher wage. And so that's part of the domino effect that could happen. So that's what I just see happen, Adrian, in my opinion. Queen of Heart, Isak isn't superhuman. He's going to get injured. Adrian, I hope not. But I know what you think. He might be injured now, apparently. Kim Camp, the company management is the problem, not the team, and not the manager, and not the money. Making yourself clear. Thank you, Kim Cam. Dave Yedi, Queen of Heart, correct. Philip is real easygoing, and his shows are always enjoyable and informative. Thank you so much for that, Dave Yedi. I can never get enough encouragement as well from you guys. Really, really appreciate you. BT, before football, Suds worked for Microsoft as a program manager. He did, and he employed it at what he learned at Benfica as well. He did. He talked about that a little bit as well. Queen of Heart, hey Kim Cam, we've got to stop meeting like this. Okay, sorry, cool. You guys can't talking to each other. Kim Cam, the new appointment is excellent. He's really good. I think so too. I'm excited about him. I'm looking forward to seeing how him, Eddie, James Bunt all kind of interact and work with together. Obviously, Steve Nixon, Andy Howe, and those guys as well. I think I can see it being promising. 80s Gamer says Isak is made of glass. Agent Pickett, Suds is going to clean up our act. Dave Eddie, thanks everyone. Excellent contributions tonight. Thank you guys. Thank you for all your likes and subscribes, guys. Queen of Hearts, Suds will get the Magpies on track and get the transfer market moves on the better footing. If data knowing is, if he's known data, he's going to get the facts accurate rather than guessing. Hopefully, yeah, make us a little bit more dynamic, is what I can say. Oh, Capo, welcome to the Madness, Suds. Our house is a very fine house. Nothing rent free in here. Mr. 80s Gamer. Shearer hardly ever got injured. These modern day footballers are made of glass these days. Go down like they have been shot. Embarrassing. Some might say that the game's gone a lot more, even more intense as well when there's more games, hence the injuries. That's part of the theory. Capo, great analogy, Phil. That's what brought Eddie Howe to the club, a vision with knowledge and future intelligence that will make any club great. Being switched on means you hit the switch when the lights. Yeah, thank you. I get what you're saying. When the lights are on. When the lights are out, sorry, yeah. Liam knows. Watched another conference talk Suds did. Loved him, saying XG doesn't give you everything. Expect the position value probably tells you more. How do you get there? How do you get to the link or to what he's saying? I think to what he's saying. I don't know. In terms of what I think he's saying, what he's saying, that's the part that I think is going to explain to them. That's the part I think that he can really, really help, in my opinion. Wobblejog, Philip, it started with Wenger with his knowledge of other untapped leagues. And yeah, he was amazing at that, honestly. Advantage then CFC and City with their financial might, then LSC's Moneyball approach. Now it's CFC's legal team loopholes. Yeah, it's going around in circles, crazy circles. What else have I missed? Queen of Heart. If you are enjoying this informed discussion and chat, please hit the likes. Thank you, Queen of Heart. It all helps Philip grow the channel and reach other fans too. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much for that, Queen of Heart. Guys, listen to Queen of Heart. Hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them likes. And final message of the night, Liam knows. Expected possession tells you. Okay, expected possession tells how you get to the XG. Okay. What changes the tide in the game? Yes, I saw part of that as well. That was super interesting. I wonder if there's that 1%. I wonder if those little 1%, those type of conversations with Eddie and the team, how that could change things. I'll be super impressed with that. I said to find a message tonight, and there's already folks with more messages. Great. You guys are amazing. Ginesta, Suds will hopefully push us towards a detailed scouting rather than the old school traditional scouting we got. Yeah, hopefully update us a little. That's what he's there for, honestly. Wobbledrock, we didn't know he knew. All right, guys. So you all have been absolutely phenomenal. A lot of you have been here right from the beginning. Even before I came into the show, you're sending your messages. You're making yourselves known. God bless you for that. And you stayed right until the end, even past midnight with me. And then some of you have been going in and out. Some of you have been letting people know, hit them likes buttons. You're all so very special. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We talked about Wissa. I am looking forward to having him. Hopefully we get him over the line and beat Tottenham. We'll celebrate that. And obviously, hopefully as well. So we talked about him. We also talked about our transfer strategy and if it's working, kind of broke it down. And look, everyone's got varied opinions. I do think there's some criticism probably over the Trafford situation to some extent, but overall, I think we've been competing with the best teams and we've been losing out, which is fine. And what I like is that we've been moving on to other players, and hopefully Wissa, we get him over the line. Kind of shows that what we've been doing is right. And finally, we've talked about our new technical director, Suds. I really, 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 really encourage you guys to check out his conference if you've got time. It's 20-minute presentations and stuff like that. I find him very personable and very easygoing and very self-aware. I think he will fit in like a glove at Newcastle United because of the way he is. And I think that would work for us. But you guys let me know. You guys let me know in the chat. As always, folks, guys, you've been absolutely incredible. Make sure you have a great night and a great evening. And as always, folks, take care and God bless.